morning. My name is Charles Wagner. I am the founder of Gramazon.com. It is Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, and this is episode 29 in our testimony sharing series. I would like you to imagine that you are walking a street in a city, and you are broken. You are corrupt. You are stained with sin. You are weak. You are anxious. You are insecure. You are incompetent. There is nothing about you that could possibly create your own success. You lack skills. You lack talents. You lack everything. You lack resources. You lack connections. You go by this house where there's an open door, and there is Jesus Christ standing in the door, and he makes a proposal to you. He says, if you come visit with me every single day, I will transform you into an incredible man of God. I will build you up. I will give you skills. I will give you talents. I will give you understanding and wisdom. I will equip you to be a soldier for Jesus Christ. I will equip you to go out there and build the kingdom of God in this community. You will become known as a man of courage and confidence. You will become known as a man who makes a difference in society. But the only caveat is you've got to come in. You've got to come into my house where we can meet together and I can coach you and train you. The only issue becomes whether or not you are willing to submit and go in and become a disciple of Jesus Christ. You're willing to go into that house to be trained by Christ. Then you come out of that house trained and you do amazing things for the kingdom of God. You touch many lives for Christ. Well, who gets the credit for that? Is it you that you built yourself up? No, it was Christ who built you up. It was Christ who transformed you. It was Christ who cleaned up your life, who built up your muscles, who built up your courage. It was Christ who sent you out on missions. It was Christ who equipped you to accomplish those missions. Christ is the one who gets all the credit. But the one issue was this: whether or not you were willing to walk into his place and get that training and discipleship. That is an act of surrender. That is an act of saying, okay, my life is an absolute mess, and I'm going to turn my life over to Christ, and I'm going to let him transform me. So I believe the only measure of success for a person is whether or not they have surrendered their life to Christ. That is it. You cannot say, I've accomplished this. You cannot say, I've accomplished that for the kingdom of God, because Christ is the one who did it through you. The only measure of success is whether or not you were willing to be transformed by Jesus Christ. Whether you were willing to step across the threshold of his home and go into his living room and receive the training that you so desperately need. So as you're preparing your testimony and sharing your testimony with others, I would suggest you downplay what you have accomplished as a believer in Jesus Christ. Instead, focus on the simple act of surrender. You said, Lord, come in and change my heart and mind and use me to serve your kingdom. Because that's a message that resonates with everybody, doesn't it? One person might be very, very wealthy and very, very talented. And if he gets up there and shares his testimony and says, well, yeah, Lord's giving me all this wealth and all this talent. Well, a poor person in the audience who maybe is not as gifted feels, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't have those things. But if your focus in your testimony is that you surrendered your life to Christ and he used whatever talents he had given you or resources he had given you, then that gives hope to the poor person in the audience that they too can surrender their life to Christ. They too can walk into Jesus's home and his living room and get transformed by him. Success is determined by the extent to which you surrender your life to Christ and nothing else. God bless.